You have made up your mind that the next time the narcissist contacts you, you will not be responding. You are going no contact. You've decided that maybe you can't go no contact in your situation. So what you're going to do is gray rock them and give them next to no attention whatsoever. Whatever the choice is, you're no longer chasing, you're backing off, you're over it, and you are rejecting. What goes through the mind of a narcissist, and how do they react when you, or anyone really, just flat out reject them? Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess, and I am a survivor of a narcissistic relationship who has now studied NPD for almost 5 years. I invite you to subscribe to my channel so you catch all my videos on narcissistic awareness, education, and support for survivors directly from a survivor. To talk with me one-on-one and get some help and support for what you're going through, you can email me or book online. All that information is available on the screen for you now, as well as down in the video description. Rejection and hurting a narc might not be what you're intending to do, but nonetheless, choosing yourself and choosing not to engage and play the games that these people want to play will be seen as a slight against this person. Of course, it's going to hit the ego. It's going to cause the narc injury, whether you mean to or you don't, whether you leave in silence, in a fight, or however you go and cut off contact or severely limit it, it's seen as pure rejection. What way did you reject a narcissist? Let me know down in the comments. So how do they handle it? Number one, this person might respond to you fairly similarly. Sometimes when a narc feels like they're getting ignored and shut out, they attempt to give you a taste of your own medicine and show you that same kind of treatment. If you gray rock them and give them very short, unsatisfying answers, they might play along and do the same thing to you. They might feel like you're giving them the silent treatment, so they put on their little petty crown. They do the same to you. If they think that you're going to block them, they're going to block you. And they just respond very much in kind. Number two, a narc is going to feel a huge sense of betrayal. The sense of entitlement are strong with these ones. You owe your loyalty, your undying love, your allegiance, and everything else to this person. And when you dismiss them, reject them, dump them, I don't care how you want to say it, like I said in my intro, it hits the ego, and they feel a ginormous sense of betrayal. Narcs feel like they own you, firstly. Secondly, they feel like they have you so hooked, you're never, ever going to leave. It's an impossibility that doesn't even occur to them that you could leave, let alone leave for good. And oh boy, when you do, it hits them deeply. You've gone against them, you've abandoned them, and you have absolutely betrayed them as far as they're concerned. Number three, they swoop in and attempt to recover. If a narc notices that you're dwindling your communication, it seems like you're going no contact, they can immediately jump into action and hit you with some way too damn late kind of love bombing. All of a sudden, they call you more. They're more open and more communicative, possibly more honest. We don't really know, do we? They text you more, compliment you. They ask to see you more or do more things with you. They might kick up romance or the physical side of things. They might try to do several or all of these things. They try as hard as they can, essentially, to kiss your ass, hoping that this is enough positive reinforcement for you to not get up and walk away and to give it another shot. A lot of times it works. This is what causes a lot of confusion, because only when you have one or 1.5 of your feet out the door, this is when all of a sudden you get treated like a human being. It's sad, it's frustrating, and a lot of people do abandon their plan to leave the narc because they get a good old euphoric hit of those feel-goods, and they stay. Tell me down in the comments if you got a super mushy, love-bomby Hoover from a narcissist trying to get you back. What did they do? Share that with me. Number four, you experience hateful, narcissistic rage. Being lovey-dovey works. I mean, you get more flies with honey, but for some narcissists, it's just not how they're going to behave when they get some nice old rejection. They harass you, they yell and scream, they rant and rave, become very scary, destroy property. You can experience a downward spiral, out of control, spilling into madness, it seems, tantrums, throwing things, as well as certain other unacceptable behaviors. It's going to become very clear they can't control their emotions. They're angry. They can't control anything. They can't control you. And a lot of times that's also why they resort to rage, to scare the hell out of you so that, again, you abandon your plan and you stay. But not out of confusion, not out of frustration, not out of maybe they do, maybe they don't, but now out of bullying, scare tactics, and fear-based decisions. Number 5, they'll seem completely unfazed by what you're doing or what you're trying to do. And this one's pretty cut and dry. They certainly don't like what you're doing. Make no mistake, they notice it very quickly. It's not hard to see when a person goes from caring and trying to just kind of switched off, aloof, and rather meh about the whole thing. Narcs see it, but sometimes they choose to act like it's not happening. Denial isn't just a river in Egypt. Oh, you must be busy. That's why you're not answering me. Hey, no sweat, no big deal. You just, you get back to me when you can. I know you're always running around all over the place. Yeah, good old denial. Sometimes they just don't want to believe it. They ignore it. They put their head in the sand. Number 6, they refuse responsibility and they blame you. We couldn't even have a list, could we, Survivor, if we didn't talk about some good old-fashioned narky blame shifting. You've made the awesome choice to break away, and that's great. But you might have heard something that sounds very similar to this. I don't understand why all of a sudden you're just, not going to talk to me now? You're the one who's always just been so selfish. I really don't understand you. You know what? Fine. You can ignore me. But it only goes to show that you won't even try to communicate with me. Look, you're like a child. You won't even talk to me. And you know what? I always knew that about you. I knew you were immature and juvenile and you couldn't even handle a conversation. Yeah, that's right. Go. Leave. Leave just like everybody else does. Be a coward and ghost me, and it dwindles on and on from there, so on and so forth. At some point, it just becomes word salad, you know? You feel that attempt in that sentence, in that little statement. You feel that attempt to guilt and shame you for making a good, healthy choice for yourself. They're not asking you why. They're not asking you what's wrong. They're certainly not asking you what they can do. They're not attempting to console you. They're not doing anything except attempting to get you to feel inappropriate guilt and shame. Yeah, yucky, gross. Don't like any of that. You're doing the right thing. Let them think you're a juvenile, immature little kid. That's fine. It's a small price to pay. Let somebody like this have whatever opinion of you they want. It really doesn't matter. Keep it moving. Let me know in the comments how a narcissist blamed you for something that was very clearly their fault. Did it sound like my example? Completely different? Let me know. Number 7, here comes your smear campaign. Kind of more like here comes chapter 2 of your smear campaign. Narcs are always talking serious smack about you to somebody, usually their closest friends and family. And a lot of times, this is why you're actually not even introduced to those people. You're not allowed to meet those folks because the friends and family think you suck because the narc has told them that you suck. Nonetheless, when you reject them, dump them, break up, whatever, this ramps up into a whole new higher gear now of smear campaigning. They might try to get people to go against you, join their team, tell everybody how wrong you are, how right they are. Of course, if they have other sources of supply, and they do, they all do, they're going to start gossiping and smearing you to those other sources. Their kids, your kids. No one is off limits once you have hit the ego. Again, whether you have meant to or not, you hit the ego, you cause the injury, and now all bets are off. Number 8, they wildly obsess over you. And it's not so much that they wildly obsess over you, but more so they develop a sick obsession that involves getting control over you again. That's what this really all boils down to with someone highly narcissistic. Power and control. A narc is never expecting you to walk away, like I mentioned, and they want their power back. They feel like you're trying to take it, and it doesn't belong to you. You've tried to take it by walking away. See, they just can't have that. So they might stalk you, blow up your phone, the social medias, and so on to get you to hand control back over to them. And a lot of times they do really creepy, really scary things. More scare tactics, more bullying. Number 9, you will be punished for your insolence. Again, it wouldn't be a list if we didn't talk about how grown-ass children want to punish you for making good, healthy choices for yourself. These are petty people. Some are going to want revenge. Some are going to want to just make you pay for thinking that you're a grown person who can walk away whenever they want. Thankfully, a lot of them, not all, I need to be very clear, not all of them, but a lot of them are very lazy, very low investment, and they don't really do much of anything. They're cowardly. Yeah, they talk some shit about you and try to get, some rumors spread, but it doesn't work most of the time. They end up shooting themselves in the foot. Nobody cares. No one's interested in the gossip except for other gossips who probably already don't think much of us anyway. So who the fuck really cares, Number 10, the narcissist lets you know just how confused you really are. When you're rejecting them and taking steps away and trying to back up and leave, the narcissist might feel the need to remind you that you are a very confused person, and they're going to try to set that record straight for you. Gaslighting, plain and very simple. They're going to let you know you're not thinking clearly. No, you don't have the right info. No, you're focusing on the wrong things. You're not seeing it from my point of view. You don't understand. You're confused. So on and so forth. As they try to push their narrative on you, it can build up even more confusion. That's exactly what it's designed to do, and it can cause victims to stay longer if they do believe that they are confused, which, that's what this is supposed to do, and it works. That's why there's so many videos, articles, and books about gaslighting. A lot of people, myself included, were super confused at some time. These people are impossible. They flip-flop back and forth. They're so wishy-washy. They continuously contradict themselves. They're exhausting, tiresome, and some people do. They just give up. Okay, fine. I'm confused. You tell me what it is. And then they just try again. Did the narcissist in your life try to tell you that you were confused? Did they try to gaslight you and set the record straight? Let me know what they told you and what they did to gaslight down in the comments. Number 11, they reach really deep down inside for that super hollow apology. Admit they were wrong? Gonna be a cold day in hell, survivor. However, when they really need to, they can muster up an apology. They can give you that nice, well thought out, really heartfelt, genuine, well, I'm super sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry that the way you act causes me to react the way I do. I shouldn't allow you to get me to that point. I shouldn't let you being out of control make me do what I do. You hear that? You hear that ickiness, more ickiness yet again? Or you might get those 7 words we all can't wait to hear. Oh, I'm sorry. There, I said it. Yeah, cool stuff. Number 12. They dive back into their harem and move on. Ultimately, they're going to do this anyway. Narcs have a harem, old supply, new supply, the baby mama, baby daddy, respectively, whichever, co-workers, associates, the peeps on the social media, the dating apps. It goes on and on and on. Rest assured, there's going to be somebody new at some point. There always will be if there isn't already. It's a revolving door. It's a vicious cycle, and it is never going to stop. Look at it this way. You hurt the ego. You tricked them, you fooled them, whatever the hell they think you did to them. You're no longer a good source of supply. Nobody is, no one person will ever do. So yeah, there's always going to be somebody else, more than one somebody else. And it's never going to change, survivor. They're always going to dive into their harem, whether they're with you, with somebody else, with 30 other people, or none. This is always what they're going to do. Dive deeper into their disorder and their little comfort harem of weirdness, and they're going to keep doing this. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, again, you can send an email to bookachatwithjess@gmail.com, or you can visit my website. Again, that information is all down in the video description for you. Throw a like on the video if you found it helpful. It's a really awesome way to support my channel. It helps keep me growing so that I can reach even more survivors, which is my ultimate goal, to spread as much awareness to as many survivors as possible. Thanks so much for listening today. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.